Have you guys tried this flavor from Taco Bell, this Baja Midnight? Because, like, I hated it at first, but, like, the more I get it and drink it, I actually like it. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to another video at Axe Entertainment. I am your host, Zack Axe, bringing you another edition of WWE Weekly Awards. Now, this one is for 10/27 all the way until 11/7, because this one is a doubleheader, 2 weeks in a row. I know last week I did not get a Weekly Awards out. I will apologize for that real quick. It's been very hectic. I know I say that every time, but I actually do have a couple reasons this time. And one of them we'll start with, just the main one, is I will be moving very soon, so I've been trying to get that all together. So there is a possibility that this is the last video for Axe Entertainment ever in this area. So if you guys enjoyed Axe Entertainment while it was here, then hit that like button for me and go back and watch all the ones in this room. But like I said, this could very well be the last one. I don't know how much time I'll have to get more out, or how long it's going to take to move over there. So I'll have a brand new setup, a brand new room, everything when I get to the new house. So I'm very excited for that. Stay tuned to the next couple of videos that come out, and you will see it very, very soon, most likely. But let's go ahead and get right into weekly awards, starting with 10/7 to 10/31. First, we're going to give out male MVP, and I am going to give honorable mentions for male MVP to JD McDonough, Miles Bourne, Ilya Dragunov, and Jasper Troy. But I am going to give this award to Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker is a very easy choice because out of everybody's wins this week, the only person that picked up a win over like a proper current main eventer is Braun Breaker, who knocked off LA Knight. I really want LA Knight to excel on Monday Night Raw, and I feel like with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, CM Punk, Jey Uso, it's really clogged up main event scene. That's going to be hard for LA Knight to finally reach where he should be at. I don't think a loss to Braun Breaker was really the right way to go for LA Knight, because I think Braun has plenty of time to continue to develop, and I think LA kind of needs to get where he's going to be, So at the end of the day, though, I am going to give this award to Braun Breaker. Next one I'm going to give out is Match of the Week. Now, for Match of the Week, there was a couple contenders. I am going to give honorable mentions for this to, first of all, Sheamus versus JD McDonough was very good. All matches with Sheamus or in them are very good. And JD McDonough is very underrated, so of course this match is going to be good. An honorable mention that almost won, and it was so close to winning, was Ilya Dragunov's open challenge being answered by Nathan Frazier, because this match was so good and so fluent, and it looked amazing. And Nathan Frazier almost died at one point. At one point, they were going up for a suplex off the top rope, and it looked like it just happened to be mistiming, and Nathan Frazier didn't quite get the jump he wanted. Ilya Dragunov didn't quite get the throw he wanted, so instead we ended up getting Ilya falling early, Nathan Frazier trying to take the bump still and landing on his freaking neck and tweaking his leg too. So I'm pretty sure Nathan Frazier is injured. Whether it's his leg or his neck or something, he's got to be injured after that. But all that to say that's an honorable mention, because I think the match between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair taking on Lyra Valkyria and Bayley was better. I think it was a very, very good match, and with the women's tag titles, it's really hard to get me to care about them. I mean, yeah, Alexa Bliss is there, and that's really, an easy way to make me care about them. And then you got people like Bayley and Lyra fighting for it, so it makes me start to kind of like it a little bit more. But at the same time, it's still a title that I see as, useless, because they've never done anything really with them that makes me think otherwise. Well, now they're having some matches for them, even though it is like every week they're defending them, but they're having matches for them, and they're making them look a lot, better, more presented on TV. And they had a freaking amazing match. This match was very good, very fluent. Everybody hit their cues. I mean, what do you expect from Lyra being one of the best up-and-comer and then 3 of the GOATs of women's wrestling? So, of course, this match was always going to be good. The next one I'm going to give out is female MVP, and I'm going to give this one out because this actually is going to go to a person who's winning double awards. There's been a couple awards here and there where people have won 2 separate awards on the same occasion, and that's going to happen again, with honorable mentions going to Kalani Jordan, Kendall Gray, and Roxanne Perez. I'm going to give this award to Alexa Bliss, because not only did she knock off Bayley and Lyra in the match we were just talking about, which Bayley and Lyra, are 2 of the biggest women's superstars on the roster right now, so knocking them off is a pretty big feat. And then you add in the fact that then in the same week she goes to Smackdown and she beats Nia Jax, and the tag team match alone was enough to consider her for this award. And then you add in the fact in the same week she knocked off Nia Jax. Not only does she win 2 awards, but she won 2 matches this week. So Alexa Bliss, easy option for female MVP this week. Next thing we're going to give out is Team of the Week. Now, honorable mention for Team of the Week is going to go to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. She was very, very close to winning 3 awards. She was very, very close. But she beat Lyra and Bayley, who is a thrown together tag team, because we're just talking about the team aspect of it. While the winners I'm going to give it to is MFT for knocking off the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, I don't like the MFTs. If you guys watching my videos, you know I'm not a huge fan of them, and I don't particularly enjoy anything that they're really doing, even with Solo, because I feel like they kind of dumb down Solo's character too. But they beat Motor City Machine Guns, and Motor City Machine Guns is one of the most decorated, well-known, main event level tag teams that you'll ever see. Maybe not presented so well in WWE, you know, only winning the tag titles once. But outside of that reign, you know, TNA and everywhere else that they've always been one of the best tag teams. So knocking off a veteran tag team, I have to give this award to MFT. But I kind of wish I gave it to Alexa and Charlotte. I kind of wish I could have, because then Alexa Bliss would be a 3-time award winner this week. Last award I'm going to give out is Promo of the Week. Now, I don't know what it is about promos this week, but they all just were kind of bad. So honorable mention I'm going to give to CM Punk for his promo ended up being Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso kind of just came out after CM Punk did his regular stuff, and then Jey Uso talked, and you know, whatever. That promo wasn't great. And then Promo of the Week, I am going to give this award to the promo battle between Drew and Cody. While not being the most intense of all things, I think overall this was the promo that showed the most passion. I mean, because it's Cody Rhodes, and Drew McIntyre is one of the best workers on the microphone. But still, even with being the caliber of these two's mic work, I still don't think this promo was anything to write home about. But it was still the best promo on a week of bad promos, so I am going to give it this award. Alright, let's get right into 11-3 to 11-7. This is the most recent week of wrestling, so let's get right into it. I have a couple things to talk about afterwards, not too many, but let's go ahead and give out the awards. We're going to go ahead and start with Female MVP, because I feel like this is the most obvious one, and that's going to be honorable mentions real quick to Zarya, Kalani, and Nia, but it's going to Chelsea Green, because if you watch Weekly Awards, I don't want to say it every time, but I do, but if you watch Weekly Awards, you know if you win a championship, you are automatically going to win this award if you win it on Friday Smackdown, Monday Night Raw, or Tuesday Night NXT, which still doesn't sound right. Should be Wednesday, but anyways, Chelsea Green picked up a shock victory. So we saw her on NXT first of all with Ethan Page. Ethan Page and her just having won the mixed tag team titles over on AAA. They have a promo over there, and you know the stuff happens with Joe Hendry and you know, Thea Hale. And then they have a pretty decent promo, so that helped, you know, elevate her for this award. And then she comes to Friday Night Smackdown and picks up a shock victory over Julia. Now, I don't know if they don't know how to book Julia or what went wrong with Julia's title reign, but it was very lackluster. They didn't know what to do with her. I don't know if she's even going to stay with Kiana James at this point. It just seems like they do not know how to book Julia, or maybe just the women's U.S. title at all, because Zelina Vega had the same treatment. But the only person that they kind of looked like they kind of cared about it when they had it was Chelsea Green, and even that they didn't seem like they cared very much. I don't know why okay, whatever. But Chelsea Green is your first ever and fourth ever Women's United States Champion, so more to brag about with her and Ethan Page now that they have 4 championships combined. And overall, she had to win this award, and I'm kind of happy that she has the title back, because I think she's the only one that really made the U.S. title feel important, while Zelina Vega, I think, was actually trying. It just never really worked. And Julia, I don't know what they were even doing with her as U.S. champion. So giving back to Chelsea, I think, is a smart idea, and I'm glad to see that maybe, hopefully, this title will get some representation, even if it ends up being on NXT. Next one I'm going to give out is Promo of the Week. Now, for honorable mentions for Promo of the Week, I'm going to give one to Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio. We'll talk more about that later. And then Becky Lynch, she's really only getting an honorable mention here because she said the line about the only good thing to come out of the New Mexico City is about how much drugs they make, how much meth they make, or how much meth they're on. And that was pretty funny. And it had Wade Barrett cracking up. He was dying on commentary. So I had to give an honorable mention for that. But I'm going to give this award to Kalani Jordan. Now, there's not a lot of promos, I'll give you this, if you're not an NXT fan. There is not a lot of promos that you will watch on NXT that are necessarily amazing, because it's NXT. You know, these guys are still honing their craft. These guys and ladies are still honing their craft. They don't know everything. Most of them, you know, there's like the Ricky Saints down there and people like that, and Sean Spears who've been there forever. But most of them are still honing their craft and all that good stuff. So when you do see a really, really good NXT promo, it almost gets me more excited than when I see a really, really good Raw or Smackdown promo. Because NXT, it's almost unexpected if you ask people that don't necessarily like NXT. And Kalani Jordan, if you haven't watched this, you need to go watch it, because this Kalani Jordan promo was very, very good. She just ran down. If you don't know the whole thing with Kalani, is that she got kicked out of the NXT locker room because she was representing TNA, and now the TNA ladies don't like her either because she cheated, and she came out to address all of that. So nobody likes her right now. She's turning heel, and she got to give her first like true actual heel promo, and it was absolutely great. She just ran down everybody in both locker rooms, said the reasons why us as fans don't like her when we liked people like Dominic Mysterio or like Cody Rhodes, who were doing the same thing that she was doing. And it's a phenomenal promo. I really, really suggest you go watch it. Next award I'm going to give out is Team of the Week. Now for Team of the Week, I'm going to give honorable mentions to AJ Lee, which is of course Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, the Kabuki Warriors, and the Judgment Day. But I am going to give this award to a team that I've been wanting to give this award to for a really long time, but just never really been able to, and that is Fatal Influence. I want to give Fatal Influence this award because they're kind of one of the teams that are carrying NXT right now. And they have been putting on great matches, great promos, great everything, especially JC Jane, but Fallon's no slouch, and Laney Reed I think is definitely going to get there eventually. So they've always been great, especially when Jasmine Nix was there too. And I've always wanted to give them this award, but they've never done anything to really deserve this award. Well, this week, they knocked off the combined efforts of Lola Vice, who is a parental main eventer on NXT, Izzy Dame, who definitely is no slouch in of herself, and then the NXT Women's Champion, Tatum Paxley. They knocked off all three of those in a match in a 3-on-3, so I kind of have to give this award to them. And like I said, I've been wanting to give this award to them because I think they've worked very hard and they earned this award. So I'm really excited to finally give these ladies an award. And I just realized actually that every single award so far has gone to a female. So let's give out the last two awards, which are not going to females, because the next award is Male MVP. So honorable mention for Male MVP, I'm going to give to Tala Tonga and Ilya Dragunov for having a great match with Johnny Gargano. But I am going to give this award to someone I never thought I would, El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano is going to kind of fall into the same vein as Alexa Bliss, but the difference is Alexa Bliss won both of her matches. That's why she won Female MVP, while El Grande did lose to Penta on Monday Night Raw. The next night, he goes down to NXT and he knocks off Josh Briggs. And Josh Briggs is a great wrestler. He's a great up-and-coming, like, Kevin Nash-esque heel. Like, he kind of reminds me of Kevin Nash, not really with how he talks, but how he wrestles and all that. But El Grande Americano had an absolutely great match with Penta on Monday Night Raw, even though he did come up short. And then on, like I said, picks up then, like I said, he goes to NXT and picks up a big win. And I think it's funny with kind of like how I was talking about Finn Balor when he came down to NXT for Homecoming. He's like a bad guy. You know, he's been a bad guy for all these years on the main roster. He comes down to NXT and he's a good guy for one night. El Grande Americano was literally a bad guy on Monday. He was like, you know, the bad guy in the Penta situation. He was trying to cheat, everything. And then the next day, he goes down to NXT where he's setting up for a match against Jasper Troy, wrestles Josh Briggs, and he's getting cheers, and he's a good guy, and the face commentator, Vic Joseph, is cheering for him, which is how you immediately know that they're supposed to be the face of the match. And it's so weird because it's like literally Monday, bad guy, Tuesday, good guy. So it was really funny to see that, but he is going to win this award. Last award I'm going to give out before we get into our little discussion period is going to be Match of the Week. Now, this is going to be a repeat winner, first of all. Honorable mentions, though, are going to go to Ilya and my boy Johnny Wrestling, who I was just talking about. I just realized this mic has been right here this whole time. I'm wearing a Johnny Wrestling shirt, Johnny Gargano shirt, if you can't tell. I just realized this thing's been right here this entire time. Anyways, Johnny Gargano versus Ilya Dragunov is going to get honorable mention. Cody Rhodes versus Aleister Black is like a dream match that I didn't know I wanted until now, and I want it again because this match, of course, ended in DQ. This match, of course, I'm like Scooby-Doo. This match, of course, ended in DQ, so I couldn't really give it this award, but it was a pretty good match leading into it, and I really hope we get into a whole feud between these two, and maybe even Aleister could be the one to take it from Cody, because Aleister deserves it. But the award is going to go to a repeat winner, where AJ Styles and Dragon Lee take on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Now, just 2 weeks ago, same thing. It was the match that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee beat JD McDonough and Finn Balor to win the Tag Team Championships. They won the award for Team of the Week that week and for Match of the Week. And this week it's going to be the same thing. Same competitors. You had a great match the first time. You put them in the ring again. They have another great match. These are just 4 phenomenal wrestlers, and they're just showing it out twice in a row. The matches did not feel the same, because that's what you'll get a lot of times, where you have a really good match, and the next match just feels like it's the same, more of the same. But this match felt different. It felt like they had new spots, new stuff to do, and the result ended up being another phenomenal match from these 4 phenomenal wrestlers, pun intended fully. Let's get into the discussions. Only a couple things to talk about right now. Let's go ahead and start with the Johnny Gargano situation, where he came out with Tommaso Ciampa, who wanted the U.S. title open challenge for Ilya Dragunov, and Ilya said, well, no, I'm not going to fight you, I want to fight Johnny Gargano. And Ciampa kind of gave him this look, and then Ciampa also didn't stay at ringside. He left, which I think this might be planting seeds, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but into a DIY breakup. I think I was watching Santi Zap a while back, it was probably like months and months ago, and I heard him say if they wanted to do the DIY breakup on the main roster, they could literally copy and paste what they did in NXT. And I fully agree with that, because I think their breakup in NXT was amazing. It is by far the best betrayal in NXT history, maybe right next to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's by far the best betrayal in NXT history, and I feel like they could really just recreate it on the main roster, because it was so great. They had so many phenomenal matches. Some of the best matches in NXT history was between these 2 guys, not only fighting with each other, but then of course fighting against each other. And I'm really ready to see these guys on their own. I know in a land where there's a million different guys that we want to see pushed, like your Rey Fenixes, your Pentas, so many different guys, it's going to be kind of hard to break up another tag team when we're actually very short on tag teams. But Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are 2 phenomenal wrestlers, and I think it would be a crime to let either of them retire, never having accomplished anything at singles on the main roster. So I'm really hoping we do get that from these guys, maybe even giving Ciampa a push early, because I think Gargano honestly seems like he's going to be able to keep it up a little bit longer than Ciampa. Maybe it's just because Ciampa looks like he's like 10 years, 20 years older than Johnny Gargano, but Johnny Gargano is one of my favorites, period, so of course I'm going to want him to get pushed, and Ciampa is amazing too, so maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. I just figured I'd throw it right here. We're kind of getting the AEW treatment on NXT. And what I mean by that is, one of the gripes that I have with AEW, and a lot of people have with AEW, is that there's way too many championships. Because not only do you have the 14 AEW titles that they have, you add in the 10 from Ring of Honor, the 10 from this company, the 5 from this company, and there's a million different titles being fought for and one being introduced every week. So that's one of everyone's gripes with AEW. Now, while they're kind of doing the same thing with NXT, it's just as annoying to me, because we have the NXT championships that you're trying to focus on, right? We got rid of the Heritage Cup. I thought that was a good step, and we just focused on the main men's and women's, the mid-card men's and women's, and then the men's tag team, right? But now we're introducing a bunch of different things. We have the women's Evolve on there constantly, the men's Evolve champion on there constantly. We have the AAA champions on there constantly. Everybody going to different brands within NXT. The TNA championships being defended over there. Mainly all of them, because they're all over there constantly. Leon Slater, of course, when Trick Williams is the champion. Kalani is the champion right now. JC Jane before that. The Hardy Boys, there's a million different titles to be fought for in NXT, and I kind of like that because it gives everyone a different opportunity. But at the same time, I think it gets too convoluted at times when you're bringing all the champions from different brands. Like, it's okay to have the champion over there, but when you're having constant matches weekly, a title match every week, just this one's for the Evolve tag titles, now this one's for the AAA mid-card title, now this one's for the TNA world title, now this one's finally for the NXT title that you actually came here to care about. But it's kind of hard to care about it right now when there's so many titles to where you can have a title match every week, and that's going to water down title matches so much on NXT that they just don't feel important anymore. And actually, add in, while I'm talking about it, the fact that we have this 2 speed championships. Why is that still a thing, honestly? Like, I get you wanted to have Soul Ruka be a double champion, that's the whole reason you did it, and you're probably only going to keep these around long enough for Soul Ruka and Zarya to have a breakup because of it. But after that, I feel like these speed titles are just going to go away because they were useless in the first place. They do just need to go away. They mean absolutely nothing. And then I think maybe just keep AAA's titles over there, keep TNA's titles over there, and just here and there bring them back. Because Dark State, while they fought the Hardy Boys, besides the Hardy Boys, and when Hanging Tank had those titles, we saw nothing from them in the tag division. The men's NXT North American Championship cannot get a match unless it's from somebody that's not from NXT. While I think it's been a lot of very fun matches, his matches have been against, besides Tavion Heights, has been against people like El Hilo de Dr. Wagner Jr., or somebody like Mustafa Ali, or somebody like Santino Marella even. While I think they've all been very good and fun matches, at the same time, it's like I do want to see these guys from NXT be brought up to the level of the guys that are already up there in NXT, not this guys that are on that same level from a different brand, if that makes sense. Let me stop talking about it because I feel like I've talked about it for a really long time. Let's get into the last couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, Lash Legend apparently is probably on the main roster now. Lash Legend is probably one of my least favorite females on NXT. I think there's so many different females that they could have brought up instead of her. I mean, I get she has a history with Nia Jax, but I'm just not a huge fan of Lash Legend. I'm not a huge fan of Nia Jax, and now they're in a tag team together. Yay. Rey Mysterio made his return. He's announced that he's fully clear. It looks like we're going to go into a feud with him and Dominic, which is pretty fun. Honestly, it feels fresh, it feels new because we haven't seen it in so long, and we've kind of been stuck in the same rotation with Dominic Mysterio fighting Penta or Rusev, or the same guys over and over again. So it's going to feel new, even though we've seen it a couple times already, and I'm all here for it. I think it's going to be very fun. Another return, and the last thing I want to talk about, is that Logan Paul made his return on Monday Night Raw to interrupt CM Punk, and the promo was pretty decent from these two, but then Braun Breaker came out with Bronson Reed, and they gave Braun Breaker the mic, and Braun Breaker is not good on the microphone. He actually wasn't terrible on it this time, but keep him away from the microphone. Anyway, so that made the tag match for later the night, Vision versus CM Punk and Jey Uso. The match we get a million times a freaking month, Vision versus insert combination of main eventer on Raw plus Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, LA Knight, somebody. I'm kind of sick of this formula, first of all, but I don't want to rant about that because I just ranted about something else, and if I start ranting about this long video is going to be 30 minutes long, but I'm really sick of this formula of Vision versus main eventer on Raw plus those guys. But we got that match, ended in double countout, or DQ, whatever. I think it was double countout. And at the end of the match, Logan Paul comes out to potentially help CM Punk, and then turns on CM Punk. So it looks like we're putting Logan Paul into the Vision, which I just don't think Logan Paul's Vision. What? I don't think that Logan Paul really fits the mold of the Vision per se, because the Vision's supposed to be like these badass, like stand strong, attack your ass guys. While Logan Paul is more of the cowardly character, take any means necessary, So I just, and he doesn't need somebody to talk for him. I think Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are a little bit weaker on the microphone, especially Braun Breaker, not so much Bronson Reed, that they kind of need Paul Heyman to be there with them to talk for him. Logan Paul does not need anybody to talk for him. He's a very, very good mic worker. And I just don't know why or where or who, because I feel like it's going to be another Seth Rollins situation where he just doesn't show up half the time, so then it's just still the regular Vision, so why even add another person in it? Just put Austin Theory in it and be done with it, because at this point, I really don't know what we're going to do with the Vision. Like, I thought it was cool at first, and then after they kicked Seth out, I was like, holy hell, what are we going to do now? And now it just feels like they don't really have a plan for him, I'm not going to lie, but I guess we'll have to see. You know what? I'm going to end it there. I don't want to keep ranting and talking because I'm going to end up getting mad about something like I usually do and then ranting for 30 minutes. But like I said, guys, I am moving, so this is probably one of, if not the very last video you've ever seen in this room. Once I get into my new place, we'll probably do a room tour after I get everything set up, and you'll get to see my new room and, the recording where everything is. And if you're a fan of me on TikTok, I haven't been uploading as regularly for the same reason. I've been really busy with work and then getting to move, and everything's been crazy recently, guys. So I appreciate you guys for sticking there with me. And I hope to get back to daily TikToks and multiple videos a week YouTube. So let's get back into that very, very soon. Thank you guys. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like for me. Go ahead and down in the comments and tell me if I gave any award to the wrong person. Subscribe while you're down there. Ring the bell if you want to be notified whenever I drop a video like this one. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
I am him, you are not, I am grim, you are lost, heating up, ovens hot, beating up all the frauds. You're a king, I'm a god, y'all got bling, I do not, cause I'm clean, y'all get clawed. On the top, y'all are frauds, at the top of my game, but still I get no fame. That's cause I would never pay for a fan to come my way.
It's like every other drink it's good, and every other drink it's bad.